Hi, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of our English Learning podcast. I'm Jennifer, and as always, I'm joined by my wonderful co-host, Elizabeth. How are you today, Elizabeth?
Hi, Jennifer. I'm doing great, thank you. Today, we're tackling a big question that many parents face when thinking about their child's education. Are private schools better than public schools? It's a debate that has been going on for decades, and the answer isn't always clear. There are passionate advocates on both sides, and today we're going to dive deep into the pros and cons of each to help people understand the differences.
That's right, Elizabeth. Choosing between public and private schools is a major decision for many families, and there are so many factors to consider. From the quality of education and class sizes to the cost and social environment, there's a lot to unpack in this discussion. Today, we'll explore what makes private schools appealing to some families, why public schools are often seen as the better choice for others, and how you can determine which is the right fit for your child.
Exactly. And for our listeners out there, we'd love to hear your thoughts on this topic. Did you attend a public or private school? Or if you're a parent, how did you decide where to send your child? Share your opinions with us, and we might even feature them in a future episode. So, Jennifer, let's start by discussing the benefits of private schools. Why do some people believe that private schools offer a better education than public schools?
Well, Elizabeth, one of the main reasons people choose private schools is the perception that they provide a higher quality of education. Many private schools have smaller class sizes, which means teachers can give more individual attention to students. With fewer students in each class, teachers can tailor their instruction to meet the needs of each child, and this can lead to better academic outcomes.
That's such an important point, Jennifer. Smaller class sizes are often seen as a major advantage of private schools. When teachers aren't overwhelmed with large numbers of students, they can spend more time helping individuals, answering questions, and giving feedback. This can create a more personalized learning experience where students can thrive academically.
Exactly. And another reason some families prefer private schools is that they often have more resources available to students. Private schools may have better facilities, more advanced technology, and a wider range of extracurricular activities, such as arts programs, sports, and clubs. This can provide students with a more well-rounded education and more opportunities to explore their interests outside of the classroom.
Yes, Jennifer. Many private schools also offer a more specialized curriculum, allowing students to focus on areas like STEM, the arts, or even foreign languages at a higher level than many public schools can offer. Some private schools have a specific focus, like Montessori or International Baccalaureate (IB) programs, which appeal to parents who want their children to have access to a particular style of education.
Absolutely. And private schools often have more flexibility in their curriculum because they don't have to follow state-mandated standards in the same way public schools do. This allows them to be more innovative in their teaching methods and course offerings, which can be appealing to families who want something beyond the traditional classroom experience.
That's a great point, Jennifer. Another factor that draws families to private schools is the sense of community. Many private schools have a strong emphasis on building a close-knit community, both among students and between families and the school. Parents are often more involved, and there's a sense of shared values that can create a supportive environment for students.
Yes, and private schools often emphasize discipline and character development in addition to academics. Many private schools have strict codes of conduct, which some parents appreciate because they believe it creates a more focused and respectful learning environment. Schools with a religious affiliation may also integrate moral or ethical teachings into the curriculum, which aligns with the values of some families.
Absolutely. So, in summary, the main advantages of private schools include smaller class sizes, more resources, specialized curricula, a strong sense of community, and an emphasis on discipline and character development. But, of course, private schools aren't the right fit for everyone, and there are some drawbacks to consider as well. Let's talk about the disadvantages of private schools. What are some of the reasons why private schools might not be the best choice for every family?
Well, Elizabeth, the most obvious disadvantage of private schools is the cost. Unlike public schools, which are funded by the government and free to attend, private schools charge tuition, and it can be very expensive. Some private schools can cost tens of thousands of dollars per year, which puts them out of reach for many families.
That's such an important point, Jennifer. Even if a family believes that private school would be the best option for their child, the financial burden can be too much. Some private schools offer scholarships or financial aid, but not all families qualify, and even with financial help, the costs can still be significant.
Exactly. And even if families can afford the tuition, there are often additional costs to consider, such as uniforms, school supplies, transportation, and fees for extracurricular activities. All of these expenses can add up, making private school a less accessible option for many families.
Yes, Jennifer. And beyond the cost, some critics argue that private schools can be socially exclusive. Because of the high tuition, private schools may have a more homogeneous student body in terms of socioeconomic background, which can limit diversity. This can create an environment where students aren't exposed to a wide range of perspectives or experiences, which is something many public schools offer.
Absolutely. Public schools often reflect the diversity of the communities they serve, giving students the opportunity to interact with peers from different backgrounds, cultures, and economic situations. This can be an important part of a student's education, helping them develop a broader understanding of the world and how to navigate different social environments.
Yes, Jennifer. And some people argue that public schools are better at preparing students for the real world because of this diversity. In the real world, people work and interact with individuals from all walks of life, and attending a public school can help students learn how to collaborate and communicate with a wide variety of people.
Exactly, Elizabeth. And another point to consider is that while private schools may offer more specialized programs, public schools are required to provide a standardized education that meets state and national requirements. This ensures that students receive a well-rounded education that covers all core subjects, and for some families, this consistency is important.
That's such a great point, Jennifer. Public schools are held accountable to government standards, which means that students are guaranteed to receive instruction in the fundamental subjects they need to succeed academically. And while public schools may not always have the same level of resources as private schools, many public schools still offer advanced placement, AP courses, gifted programs, and a wide range of extracurricular activities.
Yes, Elizabeth. And public schools are often more accessible, both geographically and financially. They're typically located in every community, so families don't have to worry about long commutes or finding transportation to a private school. And because they're free to attend, public schools provide educational opportunities for all children, regardless of their family's income.
Absolutely, Jennifer. Another advantage of public schools is that they often have special education services and resources for students with learning disabilities or special needs. Public schools are required by law to provide accommodations and support for students with disabilities, and this can be a major benefit for families who need these services.
That's such an important point, Elizabeth. Public schools offer a wide range of programs and services to meet the needs of all students, including those with disabilities or special learning requirements. This makes public schools an inclusive option that provides support for students of all abilities.
Exactly. So, while private schools offer many advantages such as smaller class sizes, more resources, and specialized programs, they also have drawbacks like high costs and limited diversity. Public schools, on the other hand, offer a more diverse social environment, are accessible to all students, and provide important services for students with special needs. But, of course, the decision between public and private school depends on each family's unique situation. Let's now talk about how families can decide which option is best for their child. What should parents consider when choosing between public and private school?
That's a great question, Elizabeth. One of the first things families should consider is their child's needs and learning style. If a child thrives in a small, structured environment with lots of individual attention, a private school might be the best fit. But if a child is more independent and adaptable, they might do well in a public school setting.
That's such a good point, Jennifer. Every child is different, and what works for one student might not work for another. Parents should also consider their child's interests and extracurricular activities. If a child is passionate about something specific like the arts or sports, they might want to look for a school that offers strong programs in those areas, whether it's public or private.
Absolutely. Another factor to consider is the family's values and what they want their child to get out of their education. Some families may prioritize a school's academic reputation, while others may be more interested in the school's approach to character development or community involvement. It's important to find a school that aligns with the family's goals for their child's education.
Yes, Jennifer. And let's not forget practical considerations like location and cost. For some families, private school may not be a realistic option due to the high tuition, while for others, the commute to a private school may be too difficult. Families need to weigh the benefits of private education against the financial and logistical challenges.
Absolutely. And speaking of different perspectives, I think it's a great time to hear from one of our listeners. Let's take a call from someone who might have an interesting experience with either public or private schooling. Hi there, you're on the air with Jennifer and Elizabeth. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hi, Jennifer. Hi, Elizabeth. My name is Laura, and I'm calling from Austin, Texas. I've been listening to your podcast for a while now, and I love today's topic. I wanted to share my experience because I've actually attended both public and private schools.
Hi, Laura. Thank you for calling in. That's so interesting. You've experienced both sides of the debate. Could you tell us a little about your experience in both public and private schools?
Sure. I attended a private school for elementary and middle school, and then I went to a public high school. I definitely noticed a difference between the two. In private school, the class sizes were smaller, and I got more one-on-one attention from teachers. But in public school, I was exposed to a much more diverse group of students, which I think helped me become more socially aware and open-minded. Both experiences were valuable, but in different ways.
That's such a valuable perspective, Laura. It sounds like both public and private schools offered you unique benefits. Do you feel like one was better than the other overall? Or do you think they both had their strengths?
I think they both had their strengths. Private school gave me a strong academic foundation, but public school helped me grow socially and learn how to work with people from all kinds of backgrounds. I'm glad I got to experience both because I think it gave me a well-rounded education.
That's such a great insight, Laura. Thank you so much for sharing your experience with us.
Thanks for having me. I love listening to your podcast, and I'm excited to hear more episodes.
Thanks so much for calling in, Laura. Take care.
Bye, Laura.
That was a great call from Laura. She really highlighted the strengths of both public and private schools and how both can offer valuable experiences for students.
Absolutely, Jennifer. And for those of you listening, if you're enjoying our podcast, please like and subscribe to our channel. Your support really helps us keep creating these episodes and sharing more interesting topics with you.
So, where does that leave us in our discussion today? I think it's clear that both private and public schools have their advantages and disadvantages. Private schools may offer smaller class sizes, more resources, and specialized curricula, but they come with high costs and may lack diversity. Public schools, on the other hand, offer a more inclusive environment, are free to attend, and provide essential services for all students, but they may struggle with larger class sizes and fewer resources.
Exactly. Key takeaway is that the decision between public and private school depends on each family's unique situation and their child's individual needs. There's no one-size-fits-all answer, and what works for one family may not work for another. It's important for parents to do their research, visit schools, and think about what's best for their child.
Absolutely, Elizabeth. At the end of the day, what matters most is finding an environment where your child can learn, grow, and thrive, whether that's in a public or private school setting.
We hope today's discussion has given you some new insights into the differences between public and private schools and how to decide which option is best for your family. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Yes, thank you for listening. We're always here to share new insights and help you learn English while exploring important topics like this one. Keep listening, keep learning, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Bye for now, everyone. And remember, the best school is the one that helps your child reach their full potential, whether it's public or private.